Welcome back to another YouTube video, and I am joined with Julian Goldie.
Hello there.
So in this video, we are going to be talking about the very famously known I published, how many articles was it? 1,000?
1,060 minutes.
1,060 minutes. I think that the most impressive part to that is actually finding the topics to actually talk about, like doing the actual keyword research and actually uploading the articles through to the website. And I know you've got hundreds of videos talking about AI content and how you've done keyword research and how you find topics, but what was the actual strategy that you used for the website?
Yeah, so because I was trying to find so many keywords at scale, what I would do is specifically look at questions, so question related content. And then this was a website in the birds niche, so it's chipperbirds.com, which has taken a massive hit, but we can also talk about that today if you want. But essentially, I would type in the niche, which was birds, filter down to questions, KD 10 or less, load our site's ranking on the first page of Google with Ahrefs, and then that would give me a list of hundreds, if not thousands, of questions that we could create content around. And as you know, with Autoblogging AI, what you can actually do is just take those keywords, paste them straight into Autoblogging AI, and then schedule, say, 50 or 100 a day or 10 a day, whatever volume you want to create content at.
Yeah. So obviously you done your keyword research that way. I'm guessing you're using like Ahrefs, or are you more of a SEMrush guy?
I'm a
Ahrefs.
Ahrefs man. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. Even after
No
their
matter how much
credits.
you charge me.
Fair enough. So obviously you done that. And how many articles were you able to find which were like question related?
Looking back, I mean, I think we found thousands because what we did was essentially focus on birds at first, which was the
Hmm.
main topic, rinse it out as much as we possibly could, and then you get to a point where you can't publish any more content around that keyword. So then you start doing types of birds, and you're like, okay, well, what are the most common types of birds by category? And you probably go with something very common, I don't know, like pigeons or blackbirds, something people are Googling every single day. And then you just work your way down the list. So it'd be the exact same method, but you go into subcategories like blackbirds, starlings, whatever, pigeons.
Right. Okay. So if you were going to do that again and potentially future proof your website, what would you do? What would be some extra precautions?
So, I mean, obviously, when you're recording and creating content like this on YouTube, right, you're kind of rushing through it
Hmm.
because you got a bunch of other stuff to do. And so I would actually not check the keywords as much as I should have done. Like if you actually had a team and you're really serious about this website, I wasn't that serious about it, and I didn't realize it would scale to the point that it actually did. I was expecting it to just implode. But if I had an actual team, I'd be like, right, this VA is responsible for looking through the keywords and just using a bit of common sense and filtering out any of the rubbish. Then I would have another VA or that same VA spend a whole day checking for keyword cannibalization. And then I would have another VA like actually publish the content in an order that makes sense. Because essentially, with the method that I was using, it was kind of like the shotgun approach, where you're blasting out keywords, all sorts of keywords all over the place. It doesn't really make much sense. And also, a lot of those keywords were cannibalizing each other.
Hmm.
On top of that, there was one huge mistake that I made, which was with the styling research, keyword research. And by this point, I'd just done a million of these. I've published 1,000 articles in 60 minutes. A million of those videos. When I started creating content around stylings, I didn't check the keywords at all, really. I actually got ChatGPT to check for keyword cannibalization. The problem with
Hmm.
that was there's actually still a lot of irrelevant stuff in there. So some of the questions in there are actually about the Starling app, which is like a kind of like a wise alternative where you can get financial banking online. And A lot of the content published was actually about the Starling Bank, not Starling the bird. And at that point, helpful content update comes out, and it's game over.
So basically, anyone that's been hit from the helpful content update, they need to thank you because you just started talking about completely different topics, and Google was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! We
Who's
need
this
to
guy?
do
Yeah.
something about this." This guy.
This guy is ridiculous. I mean, there were many other factors that you could blame. I think this one I have to take responsibility for, because if I just spent, 20 or 30 minutes actually going through that keyword research line by line, it might have saved the website. You just don't know. You don't know looking back. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think that was one of the biggest issues. Having said that, it made a ton of money in between, so I'm happy that way.
yeah. I mean,
And in terms
what
of,
one thing that you did mention, which is pretty important, is it looks like you were doing keyword research and not topic research, right? So if you'd stuck to the cat topic and not started talking about a Stripe alternative, you probably would have done well. You might not have been hit. I mean, I'm doing a lot of consultancy calls with website owners that have been hit. Um, and that's the biggest thing that I'm seeing. They've not covered the topic in its entirety. Like they might have done 4 or 5 articles to do with divorces, and they think that they're the topical authority to do with divorces, but it's actually not the case. Like if you think of like going through a divorce process, you're going to have a million and one different questions. Like how much is a divorce? What happens to the kids after a divorce? How do I need signed approval when I'm taking the kids on holiday? What happens to their passports? Like what happens to the money? Is a divorce expensive? Like there's probably tens of thousands of questions that you could actually talk about when it comes to divorces. Um, so one thing that I want to do now is first of all we'll take a look at the website and see what's essentially like the ranking graph, and
one
then
of the things, yeah, go on.
yeah, go for it. Um, so if I share screen, entire screen, let me know when you can see the screen. You should be able to see it now.
Can see it now, yeah.
So yeah, for anybody that's not seen the website, this is it here. But yeah, go on. I feel like you're about to say something. Yeah,
Yeah, the
go
other
on.
big issue when you're creating content at that scale, it's very hard to make sure that everything links together properly.
Hmm.
So the whole internal architecture of the website was a total mess, because we were smashing out all this content at one point, and I always said it was an experiment. Like we don't care either way, whatever happens. So it's okay that it tanked. I'm not bothered about that. But one of the biggest issues was that it was so messy, and we were publishing at one point 100 articles a day. So you're scaling something that's only going to become more and more messy. And if you're publishing 10 articles and then you start publishing 100 articles a day, you're 10xing the mess that you've created in the first place.
Yeah, for somebody that's trying to replicate this in a way that they're not going to get penalized, or they're let's say minimizing the risk of getting penalized. How would you do it, that you're not just creating a big messy mess?
I think you just dedicate more resources, and you might just have a full time link builder, an internal link
No,
builder, and then they
yeah.
actually map it out properly. But it needs to be
Hmm.
someone very skilled with a lot of common sense,
Hmm.
which can be hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. So let's try to replicate what you have done for birds, but for cats. I don't know if have you got a good knowledge on cats?
I've got a few cat websites.
Right. Okay. So you've got a few cat websites. So you are the go-to guy. But all I have done here is I have done cat and Ahrefs. I mean, we could go to US as well. We can definitely swap this over to US. There's more searches. Um, but from what you were saying before, you were looking at questions here. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
So let's. I don't know
There's,
how. Yeah, go on.
I would say there's a big issue with targeting questions these days as well, because number one, you got Reddit and Quora
Yeah.
and Medium performing extremely well. Even LinkedIn. I don't know if you've ever checked LinkedIn's traffic for cats. They're ranking for 12,000 keywords around cats. This is a business platform, and like they're ranking, number one for can cats eat lettuce or something like that. Additionally, SG is going to wipe out a lot of these terms.
Yeah, definitely. There's I think that this strategy is a little bit flawed, but I still want to cover this strategy just so people don't make the same mistake, right? Because I feel like everyone should know what's working and everyone should also know what's not working as well. Like, for example, if we were to go back, like, let's say 10 years, um, everyone was building automated links with GSA and Scrapebox, right? They were building 10,000 links in 1 hour. You do that now, and you're probably going to destroy a website very quickly.
It's funny because someone came to me this morning saying, "Are these links good?" And they were all built with GSA, and I was
Oh,
like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!"
yeah, it's probably not good. Um, but for anybody that's following along, so all I've done is I've went to Keyword Explorer, search cat or whatever your subject is, and then I've just done include how, or you can do what. And again, we've got 100,000 keywords here. So like how to draw a cat, how old is my cat, how to get rid of cat pee. So previously, a lot of people would look at this article and be like, yeah, I'm going to write this article. It gets 11,000 searches. Keyword difficulty 30. I mean, it's a little bit high, but for example, how to pet a cat. Would this have been an article that you would have done? I mean, it's keyword difficulty 5, gets 10,000 searches.
Yeah, usually going for stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. So anything like this, Julian would have done before. Like how long? That's actually a bit of a higher keyword difficulty. Um, but let's take a look at how many toes does a cat have? And again, a lot of these keywords will be swapped out for example, Wikipedia is actually ranking for this. But when SG rolls out, you can very much guarantee that a lot of these questions is going to get taken up by SG. Again, it just makes sense. Like, why would Google crawl all of these 300 articles talking about how many toes does a cat have when 9 times out of 10, unless your cat has some form of problem, it's always going to have 18 toes, right? Um, so yeah, I would look to maybe what you can do in this. This is one thing that Steve Toff has done very well. I don't know if you've actually seen his website, thematchartist.com. So this is a public case study that he has, and one thing that he does very well is that he bases out a lot of these like long form questions on one article. So instead of Google reading, let's say, your 6,000 word article on how many toes does a cat have, like what these guys have done, you've just got it in a question. Like, for example, how to use Tinder FAQs. He has got an FAQ section here, and it's just talking about everything to do with Tinder. Um, and again, one thing that I will say, and again, I don't know what your thoughts are, Julian, but when you're doing topic research, you essentially don't want anybody to bounce off of your website. Um, I don't know if you've ever have you ever heard of the Wikipedia game?
No, no.
Right. Okay. So the Wikipedia game is basically, and for anybody that's looking to improve their internal linking, definitely watch this section of the video because this will help you big time. The Wikipedia game is you can go from, like, for example, Justin Bieber to Spain, right? Just by using their internal links. Like Justin Bieber and Spain, they don't have anything in common. But I mean, let's do it. So like London, Ontario, you've got there. Then you've got Ontario, the country. Then I'm guessing you could probably do like United Kingdom. So you've got the Parliament of the United Kingdom. Obviously, the United Kingdom is in Europe, so the European Union. And then right, okay, so we've not got Spain yet. Let's see. Um, European Union, Spain.
But I
Government.
see what you mean. It's very
Yeah,
easy to bounce from topic to topic.
Kingdom of Spain. There we go. So we've just went from two completely irrelevant subjects. So I've took you from Justin Bieber, which is a singer, to the country of Spain. Now you want to do this at your level for your website. So you want to be the topical authority. So if you think of it, right, the match artist has an article on Tinder, right? If an alien was to land on this page and start reading this guide, he would never need to essentially leave this page. And by the end of this article, he will be an expert to do with Tinder and getting girls, right? Or getting alien girls, right? So that's essentially how you want to essentially start structuring both your pages and also your topical research. So for example, like how to use Tinder for free. Obviously it still says 2023, needs to change that. But what is Tinder? How to install Tinder? How Tinder swiping works? So by this point, we've actually started swiping on the app. Then how to set up your profile, the features, the premium features. All right, we might have had like we might have swiped on 50 girls. All right, let's get some premium add-ons. Let's try and get some um, more swipes, right? So then, what are the rules of Tinder? What photos attract girls? Literally everything you need to know on how to become the expert on Tinder. And again, when people talk about helpful content, right? And again, Google said this before, like, don't focus on SEO related articles, focus on more helpful content. I don't know about you, Julian, right? But if I had zero clue about Tinder, this is probably a good resource.
Yeah, it's got
Um,
everything that you need in there, isn't it?
yeah. So again, like when we are doing like keyword research, like what we're doing here, right? So like, how many toes does a cat have? It doesn't really fit into like a bigger picture. Like, don't get me wrong, you can include it on like an FAQ section on your website. But for example, like how can we take somebody from not knowing anything about cats to being an absolute expert on cats? That's the mindset that I have when I'm trying to do keyword research. So, all right, how much does a cat cost, or where can I even buy a cat? Then, how much does a cat cost? Um, do I need insurance to get to when I have a cat? Like, is there pet insurance? Do I need to essentially have a vet on standby? You've got all of these questions that you would need to essentially answer to become an expert on cats. Like, what how I think of it now is, if an alien was to land on this website, would they be an expert on Tinder? Or if an alien was to land on my website about cats, have I got enough articles to educate them to essentially take care of a cat? Because that's the end goal, right? You want a little green alien to take care of a cat. That's the biggest takeaway that I would probably say when it comes to helpful content. So, is there anything that you're doing differently, Julian, on your websites?
Yeah, so one of the things that we changed on there was previously we didn't have a real person on there. So
Hmm.
fake name, fake image, no real bios or social media profiles for that person, not even a real about me page. And then what I swapped out actually after our conversation about EAT was adding, I just put myself on there with my social media links and an about me page, etc., and just try to add like a bit more accountability to the website, along with like easy ways to get in touch as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I've seen a lot of websites rise to the top after the helpful content update. And again, I don't know if they had this set up before, or potentially they might have been watching like YouTube videos. They might have been looking like at John Mueller tweets and stuff. But there's been a lot of websites that I've seen rise to the top after the helpful content update that do have everything that you've mentioned. They've got bona fide offers, they have got an address, they've got a editorial guideline, an affiliate disclosure, just everything that like a real business would have. So they're essentially not just looking at the website as an affiliate website, but they're actually looking at it as a business point of view. Like, for example, if you're a genuine business, you're probably going to have a returns policy. You're going to need to have terms and conditions. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing as well going into 2024. I actually done a video on this yesterday, talking about like EEAT and how you can implement it. And again, EEAT isn't just a one size fits all. So, for example, if you're trying to rank in porn, you might not need as much EEAT. But if you are a, let's say, an e-commerce website selling bottles, you're probably going to need the returns policy. That again is EEAT. So again, it comes down to what you're trying to rank and what website you um, classify yourself as well. But yeah, that has been the video on keyword research and essentially future proofing your website as well. Thanks for joining me, Julian.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, perfect. See you in a bit.